Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my MGB GT. I'm just trundling along the M4 at the moment on my way to Wales, finally taking a longer trip in this car. And people who've been watching the channel for a while will know that I went to Wales last year in the XK8, but it was quite a wet experience because it was in the middle of Storm Dennis when I took it there. Now this time I'm not going to Snowdonia where I went last time, I'm going to the Brecon Beacons, and you might be able to hear a bit of extra wind noise as I'm driving along, and that's because I've got a roof rack on top of the car with a load of camping equipment in it. So I'm staying overnight tonight camping in the MG in Wales in November, which sounds like a slightly daft idea, but something which I wanted to try out really for maybe future longer trips. So I think I've got everything in the car that I need to camp for one night in the MG. But what I tried to do was try and think, if I was going to do a longer trip, sometimes you might not have access to all the facilities. So I've got my tent, I've got food and drink, as well as the gadgets to be able to cook things. But I've also brought things to be able to have a wash and to be able to go to the toilet as well. So once we get to the campsite, I'll be able to go through my gear a bit more and talk about what I brought with me, and if it's actually any good or if it's just a bit of a gimmick. But before then, I wanted to drive through the Brecon Beacons where there are some nice driving roads, and hopefully that's what I'll be able to bring you in a minute, rather than just this sort of dull motorway driving. So really pleased that I'm back in the MG doing a longer trip this time, and really excited for what lies ahead. Right, we are very much in Wales now, and the roads are definitely more interesting. It's slightly wetter than I would have hoped, and the roads are a little bit slippy, but this road looks amazing. Just winding up this hill or mountain. Still getting a little bit of wheel rub. Should explain really that my lowered suspension, as I mentioned in my previous video, the wheels rub on the arches now. So my tool to roll the arches didn't arrive in time, so I had to take drastic action and actually raise the rear suspension up by an inch, which cured all of the rubbing issues. But now, fully laden with camping gear, it's just on the verge of rubbing again on the tightest corners, especially going uphill because the weight's transferred to the back slightly. Slightly annoying, but it's way better than it was anyway. There you go, hairpin. This is absolutely amazing. What a road. Having driven that road and been on the go since about 6:30 this morning, I've pulled over and I've decided to have a bit of lunch. It's just turned 12 o'clock, so like I said, I'm not going to buy anything while I'm here, so I'm going to see what I can rustle up using what's in the car. So I've got my little by the side of the road setup going on here, and I'm currently trying to boil some water for my tea, but it's quite windy, so I'm trying to shield the flame for the gas stove as much as I can. But I've got my tea bag and sugar in my cup ready to go. I've got my milk in my cool box, and then to follow that I'm going to try and fry some bacon to make a bacon roll. Yeah, let's see how we get on. No! 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 Oh, just had to relocate out of the wind around there. It's blowing from behind me, and the bacon's cooking now. I've got my cup of tea, and kind of a little bit not as hot as I'd probably like it, but I don't think the tin mug helps that much. The heat kind of disappears from that, but still very drinkable. But yeah, my bacon's cooking away, and yeah, seems to be going all right so far. It's a beautiful spot actually. This is just coming down from that road that I was on. I think it's called the Black Mountain Pass. It was used in Top Gear a couple of times, I think. And yeah, I mean, yeah, there's traffic going up and down here, but it's not that busy. And just off to the side of the road where I'm having my little bacon sandwich stop, beautiful views there over some valley and things. And there's this bird of prey that's sort of riding the air currents, flying around, not bothered by the cars going up and down or anything, just doing its own thing, but really beautiful to watch. Right, lunch is finished, now it's time to continue going, probably start making my way to my campsite. Exciting. Got to pop in here for a photo, I think. A nice photo opportunity there, lovely views. Just the way the road unfolds in front of you, it's like the Alps or something. So I'm at the campsite now, and it's as busy as you'd expect for November in Wales, and kind of got the tent bit to myself actually, which is quite nice, quite good for privacy, etc. I'm going to try and get all of my stuff together now. I've probably got about an hour or an hour and a half left of daylight, so I've got to get a move on. But once I'm all set up, I'll give you a bit of a tour of my camp. So I'm pretty much set up now. Let's go and have a little look inside my camp. So first thing is my cooking stuff. So I've got a little table here with my gas stove, my frying pan, the one I used to cook bacon on earlier. Then of course I've got my cool box and my little camping stool here. Now this is actually a portable fire pit, so I might get that going a bit later on to keep me warm while I'm eating my dinner. Inside the tent itself, the tent is a kind of a pop-up jobby which just springs into action, which you would have seen on the time lapse of me putting the camp together. But inside, just got my clothes bag, my sleeping bag, and a fairly festive Christmas blanket, although you could argue it's Nordic or something, I suppose, as well as my just rucksack which got my laptop in it, so I might watch some films later. James Bond downloaded on there, and of course a hot water bottle. I haven't inflated my airbed yet, but I didn't want it to go down before going to bed, so I'll do that a bit later on. Oh, and these are some powerful lights in case I need to lie outside a bit later. Moving around the back, we have got this separate tent, and in here we have the toilet, and I think there's a hook up there somewhere for attaching my shower in the morning, so that'll be an interesting experience depending on how cold it is. Next, I guess, is just what's left in the car. We've got this water thing here. This is essentially my water supply. I'll move that over nearer the tent as I'm doing my cooking and my washing up, etc, etc. But most of the other stuff in here is camera equipment and tools and spares. So you can see in this box we've got trolley jack and axle stands, which is quite over the top, I suppose, for a normal trip, but classic cars have classic needs. And in here I have all of my usual road trip stuff, so fan belt, spark plugs, tool set and that kind of thing, and a battery operated jump starter thingy, and I think that's about it really. Oh, all important food. I've got some food in here, so I'll be tucking into this in a minute, but I think for the time being I deserve a beer, so I'm going to get cracking with one of those, and yeah, hopefully I manage to cook my dinner and stuff, so you'll join me a bit later. Here we are then. Got my dinner ready, and it actually tastes really good actually, this Thai curry that I've made. Whether the chicken's cooked or not, I don't know, because it's got quite dark now. I think it has. I did cook it for quite a long time. Had a little mishap whilst cooking. There's a bit of curry everywhere, but yeah, quite comfortable. I've added some extra layers to keep me warm, and of course donning the beer jacket as well. So reflecting on today then, I haven't really done like loads of driving apart from getting to Wales, but that Black Mountain Pass was phenomenal. I drove that a couple of times, and really great road. And the things that stood out to me for it was a mountain pass, and other passes that I've done, Lake District and even Snowdonia to some extent, the road surface isn't as good. They're narrower, all that kind of thing. The Black Mountain Pass has got plenty of space, really lovely views, and a really enjoyable driving experience. Just, I suppose, be careful on the ones where it does say slow down for, because they do come up pretty quick, and they are tight, some of them, and have no runoff barrier, so you will sort of end up off a cliff or something like that. So brilliant day exploring that, and really this trip has been about seeing whether the MGB can carry all the stuff that you need to survive on a camping trip. I mean, I'm only staying one night tonight, but I could easily, if I'd packed some more clothes and some more food, you know, do a week, 2 weeks or something like that, and it's actually very comfortable. Okay, I haven't actually slept in the tent yet, so I'll give an update on that in the morning. Hopefully it's not going to be too cold, but I think I'm reasonably well prepared, and I haven't thought, oh, I wish I brought that, or I wish I brought this. I think everything I've got. So yeah, I mean, what a trip, and this is kind of laying the foundation for future excursions, I think, where I might want to go further afield and not have to come back the same day and not have to pay for a hotel because there might not be a hotel where you're staying, where you're driving through if it's a bit remote, etc., etc., a bit of wild camping or whatever. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm just really proud of the old car today doing what it did. It seemed very solid and willing as well. So no moments that I think, oh, am I going to get up here, or like wishing I had more car under me. It just seemed fine. And actually, thinking about whether I should have brought the Jag, I mean, the journey that I'm going to do round trip, I would normally do in the Jag in, like, you know, before breakfast or something, because it's just so effortless at doing long distance, the Jag. But once I got here, I'm really glad that I did bring the MG. I mean, okay, it doesn't have the power or the comfort of the Jaguar, but it does have quite a narrow body, so country lanes aren't quite as intimidating trying to get past people coming the other way. And also you can use more of the performance, so like the Jaguar, second gear takes you up to 60 odd miles an hour or 70 miles an hour. You can actually feel like you're rowing through the gears a bit in the MG, and it's a bit more of an enjoyable drive on the slower, windy roads. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm really pleased with how this trip's turned out, even though I haven't done like loads and loads of driving roads. But yeah, I'm just having a great time. So I hope you're enjoying this video. We'll give a bit of an update tomorrow morning and see how I get on through the night. But for tonight, I'm gonna sign off and I'll see you in the morning. Good night.
Well, good morning everyone. Quite a chilly night in the end actually in the tent, so started off with my hot water bottle and dressed in all sorts of layers and quickly got quite hot. And I think the mistake I made was when I took my layers off, I put them outside of the sleeping bag when I should have really kept them in the sleeping bag with me. So when it got really cold in the night, I wanted to put my jumper back on. It was in the cold tent, so it was really freezing. But yeah, quickly warmed up and had a really good night's sleep. A bit of an encounter with a fox just before bedtime. Actually, it came really close and took quite a bit of shooing away. I don't know if it was after my sausage and bacon for my breakfast. But then I had weird dreams about a fox biting me through the tent and stuff. So slightly restless, but yeah, I don't feel tired or anything, and no aches or anything like that, which is really good. So I'm just boiling some water to make a cup of tea to warm me up a bit. But a beautiful morning, nice sunrise behind me, which is great, and all the stuff that I bought has worked out really well actually. None of it was expensive. I didn't have any of the kit beforehand except the roof rack and the cool box, and the cool box actually probably quite big for just one person doing one night, but I had those two things already. But everything else, so the tent, the ground sheet, the sleeping bag, the roll mat, the stove, the table, the fire pit, the bag that goes on top of the roof rack, all of that stuff I've bought. Additionally, the toilet tent, and I don't think I spent more than £500 on all of that. And if you're going to use the facilities of a campsite, you don't need the toilet and toilet tent, etc. But it is very convenient actually. I think it's worthwhile investing in that if you camp regularly, especially if you've got kids. Anyway, I'm going to get on with my tea making and then have my breakfast, and then I'll see if I'm brave enough to get in the shower or not. But yeah, what a morning.
So after having my tea, I'd run out of water, time and bravery to use the shower, and with the toilet filled with only I know what, it was time to start packing up my little camp. I really enjoyed making this video, and I really hope that you enjoyed watching it back. Doing the camping I felt was really fulfilling and something I'd really love to do more of, so please let me know in the comments if you think it's something I should try and do again. If you like this video, then hit that like button. If it's your first time watching one of my videos and you want to see more, then subscribe to the channel and more videos will be coming out very soon. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.